Well, hello everyone. Hoping every one of you is well, every one of you is fine, and that everyone in your families are doing well too. We are already in the festivities, season of festivities, and Navratri is already started. And hoping that you all will be finding time to study, but then I am also hoping you all will be finding time and reasons to celebrate, reasons to enjoy, and reasons to thank God the Almighty, or thank whatever you all are, whoever you all are worshipping, that this year we have still made it far without any much or without any such problems, and so that the coming year and the remaining of this year also goes on well for all of us. Hoping that you all, okay, this year we will not be experiencing Durga Puja or the other festivals the way we used to usually. Festivities will be toned down. Most of us won't be going outside. Then there are no pandals to visit. There will be no such celebrations. But then we can always celebrate in our heart. Let our hearts be filled with happiness, and let us find ways to celebrate, reasons to celebrate. Celebration can always happen in the family, celebration can happen within your mind itself. So hoping you all will be doing that, you all will be staying happy. And well, what to say, when we are talking of all these things, there is something else also to be kept in mind. Many of us did not have such a good year. Many of us faced many difficulties. Some in their families, they went through a lot of struggle. Some may have suffered through COVID. So all these things, let us pray for each other. Let us pray for the world, so that the world, we can come out of this crisis without any much more harm, and that we can resume life as it was, or as we knew it. Once again, in this, before I start with the video, I'll be speaking of a few things. You see, right now is the time to come and experience things which you all know, or so as to, this is the time so that you all can start experiencing things and start experiencing life. You all can understand what you want to do with your life, so start exploring different avenues, start exploring different career options, start searching in the internet about different careers, about what you can do with your life, so that you all do not just have a vague idea what you want in life, but that you all know for sure what is that you want to make out of your life. Because if we do not know that, then the remaining of the life becomes a bit tad bit boring. If you know what you want to do with your life, it becomes much more simpler. So this is the time so as to explore whatever you all want to do. What is that you love? What is that subject you like to study? What is that stream which you want to take up? Do you want to become an engineer? Do you want to become a cook? Do you want to become an artist? Do you want to become a geographer? Do you want to become an archaeologist? All these things, this is the time you all have got. Do not take this lockdown thing as something of a curse. This is actually a boon for you all. Explore this, explore yourself, explore your different ambitions, ideas, the wishes. This is the time so as to get to know yourselves so very well. And well, stay happy, and spend a lot of time with your family. With all this, let us just I know it is once again season of festivities, but then we have to do a bit of study. So let us just start studying. And once again, a happy Navratra to all of you. May the goddess of power, may the goddess, we worship Lady Durga as Shakti. So let the power of Ma Durga stay with you all, so that you all can come out of this crisis kind of a thing without any harm, and everyone you all know, everyone you all care about, stay out of harm's way too. So let us go back to studies. Okay, ninthers, we were doing the ocean currents, and there's a very important thing over here. What is it written? It is written Sargasso Sea. Sargasso Sea is, let us just, let us say we are looking at the oceans. You can see that the currents or the drifts, whatever they are, they travel at the boundaries of the continents. Over here also you can see they are traveling at the boundaries. Why so? Because as they are moving from this area, they're wanting to go up. But what happens is that they are pushed by this landmass and they move upwards. Again they are pushed by this landmass, again they move downwards. So this is the circle. But if you look properly, this middle part of the ocean, not only this ocean, all the ocean, the middle parts of the ocean, the mid-ocean areas, they are more or less undisturbed by the ocean currents. So what happens is that due to this, over here, lot of seaweed, there is, especially it is so in the case of Atlantic Ocean, as this central part is undisturbed, a lot of seaweed named sargassum, a very, not sarcasm, but sargassum. It is a very different kind of a seaweed, and it makes the color of the ocean completely blue. It is a very pristine and a very bright kind of a blue. So over here we have sargassum. Sargassum collects in these areas, and there is so much sargassum that this part of the sea is called Sargasso Sea. So Sargasso Sea, you're going to see over here, it is there in the middle Atlantic Ocean, and this inner circle is free from any distinct current. So a large amount of floating seaweed called sargassum is found in the undisturbed center of the Atlantic Ocean. Next, we were talking about the Atlantic Ocean, the currents of the Atlantic Ocean, and we have the East Greenland current, the Labrador current, the Brazilian current, the West Wind Drift, the Falkland current. Let us just look at these currents. When we are talking of the East Greenland current, what we are talking of is this. We have the Greenland current over here. There's the cold current. Then we have already done the North Atlantic drift. Over here, if you look at it in the South Atlantic Ocean, there's the South Equatorial current. Then it becomes the Brazilian current. After that, over here it becomes the Falkland current. Then it moves downwards, it becomes the west wind drift. And this west wind drift, if you look over here, this west wind drift is actually traveling throughout the globe. Why? Because there is no such landmass so as to stop the flow of the west wind drift. If you look over here, it can move unhindered without being hindered by any landmass. So one part of the Brazilian current, it joins the west wind drift, and the other part moves up as the Venezuela current, which is the cold current, and it again joins the South Equatorial current, and it forms a gyre over here too. Now these were the currents of the Atlantic Ocean. Let us talk a bit about the currents of the Pacific Ocean. Once again, in the Pacific Ocean, we have the North Equatorial current. This is a warm current, and you all know it is in this Pacific Ocean area. This current is originating in the western coast of Mexico, and it is flowing in the western direction towards the island of Philippines. This is what they are talking of. This is the western coast of Mexico, the North Equatorial current. It is flowing from this area, from this area of Mexico, and it is hitting these islands of Philippines in Asia over here. This area of Philippines. Then it moves up as the Kuroshio current, a cold current. It is a very interesting thing that happens over here. Similar to we had the Labrador current and the Gulf Stream in the Atlantic Ocean. Similar things happen over here. There's the Kuroshio current over here, and the Oyashio current moves downwards as a cold current. So the Kuroshio and the Oyashio, they collide near Japan, and it is a foggy area, cold and a hot current. They are moving and they are meeting each other. It becomes a foggy area, and this area is particularly important for, you all know now, for fishing. So there's a very important fishing ground over here too. So we have the North Equatorial current. This current originates due to the pushing action of the northeast trade winds. Near Philippines, it turns northwards due to the Coriolis force. So not only the Coriolis force, they forgot to mention it. Over here, it encounters landmass and it has to move upwards. It has nothing such to do with the Coriolis force. So Coriolis force has already made it move towards the western side. So over here, what it happens is that it hits this part of the land, and it does not have anywhere else to go. So it moves upward. Next, we have the South Equatorial current. Again, similar. North Equatorial current over here, South Equatorial current over here, and the Counter Equatorial current over here. This Counter Equatorial current is actually North Equatorial, South Equatorial, and the Counter Equatorial current. These, if I tell you all that this current formation over here, this current situation over here affects our monsoon. in which is there in India. India is far away. India is over here, somewhere over here. If the map would have been extended, India lies somewhere over here. But if I say that these currents over here, these currents, they affect our monsoon drastically, you must be surprised. And this is a homework for you all. Please try to find out the reasons why. Find out the reason why the currents which are there in the South American coast and in the coast of Australia and Malaysia over here, why these currents over here are affecting our monsoon, the Indian monsoon, so very drastically. Anyone who gives or anyone who finds out and gives me an answer in writing, you can just WhatsApp me the answer. It should be your answer and it should be written in a paper, and you will be sending me the pic. So if anyone who can do that and anyone who can write an answer, a well-formed answer, okay, you do not have to be correct grammatically, but at least I should know, I should understand that you have got the idea of it. So if you can do that, be sure that there'll be a silk, dairy milk silk waiting for you all on the other side of the lockdown. When the school reopens, it will reopen someday, so you'll just have to remind me. So a silk waits for you all. It is for grabs for anyone who answers it correctly. So it cannot just be one person, it can be all of you. You do not have to worry, the silks will be there for all 240 of you. So this is one homework for you all, and it is a very interesting thing, and it has got a special name, this effect, and that special effect is affecting our monsoon every year. So you'll be telling me about this. Next, we have the counter equatorial current, similar to that of the Atlantic Ocean. North equatorial current, the south equatorial current, and as there is a lot of accumulation of water over here, some of it returns back as the counter equatorial current. Next is the Kuroshio current. This is the warm. It is the most important warm water current of the North Pacific Ocean. Very important to keep in mind. The waters of the North equatorial current divide off Philippines, so it gets divided over here. One part turns north and forms the Kuroshio or the Japan current. The other turns southwards and joins the counter equatorial current. So some of it is moving upwards, some is going back as the counter equatorial current. This is what they meant to say. The Kuroshio current develops partly due to the Coriolis force and partly due to the obstruction of the Philippines in the flow of the North equatorial current. So actually this partly thing, most importantly, it is this obstruction of Philippines. Coriolis force has already given rise to this, given this direction already. It moves at an average speed of about 30 km per day. You do not have to keep these speeds in mind. These are variable speeds. Average surface temperature is about 20 degrees Celsius. It modifies the temperature of eastern coast of Japan and keeps the eastern coast of Japan warm even in the coldest months. That is in January. You can see Japan is over here. Japan is lying in the very north latitudes, so it should have been very cold. This area should have been frozen. These coasts should have been frozen, but they do not freeze, and they remain relatively warm. Why? Because warm waters are moving in these areas. Now, where Honshu and Hokkaido, they experience very heavy snowfall. They are over here. Hokkaido is a very Honshu island, Hokkaido island. People who have watched or who keep on watching Shin-chan, you must be knowing about Hokkaido. Shin-chan goes to holiday over there. Now, a branch of Kuroshio current known as the Tsushima current enters the Sea of Japan and keeps the western coast of Japan comparatively warmer. So what happens is that the Tsushima current enters this area. So one part is moving up, one part gets divided over here and it enters. This is what I'm talking of. Let me zoom into. One part is moving this way and some of it moves interior parts of Japan also, and it keeps the interior parts of Japan warm. Next comes the North Pacific drift. Similar, around 35 degree north, the Kuroshio current comes under the influence of the westerly wind and the rotation of the earth. So it adopts a northeasterly direction, leaving the coast of Japan. So this is what they are talking about, the Kuroshio current, and then it becomes the North Pacific drift. And it again joins, it becomes the California current, and it joins over here again as the North Equatorial current. The Kuril or the Oyashio current, this is very, very important. North Pacific drift also, okay. It reaches the western coast of North America, keeping the Alaskan coast ice-free in winter. This drift is comparable to the North Atlantic drift in the Atlantic Ocean. Similar things. So Atlantic Ocean currents and the Pacific Ocean currents are mostly similar, only the naming is different and the coasts and the places they affect are different. What is the Oyashvo current? It's the cold current. The cold water current originates from the Bering Strait and flows southwards along the coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula and the Kuril Islands. Kamchatka Peninsula. This over here, this is the peninsular part. This is the Kamchatka Peninsula. This is the Bering Strait over here. They have joined this area, but it shouldn't have been joined. Bering Strait separates Asia from North America. So this part from the Bering Strait, it comes from the Arctic Ocean, and this Oyashio current is moving from this northern area, so it is a very cold current. So what it actually does is that it brings cold water and icebergs from the Arctic Ocean to the coast of Russia and Japan. So these areas of Russia, these ports and these coasts of Russia, they remain relatively frozen mostly throughout the year. And this is the reason why. See, Russia is a big country. If I am just showing you the world map over here, Russia is a big country. Russia is over here and Russia is also over here. So what actually, if anyone follows current affairs, it is actually a bit of an backdated current affair. There was this Russian annexation of Crimea. Crimea is a port over here. Crimea is a port of Ukraine, and Russia had occupied this area. Russia had annexed this area. Russia has captured this area of Ukraine. That is the coast of Crimea. And why did Russia have to do that? Because Russia did that because Russia wanted a warm water port. These ports and these coasts of Russia, they remain frozen nearly throughout the year. And any country which wants to do business through the sea, trade through the sea, it wants a trading route, or it wants a port or a coast which can stay open throughout the year. These areas stay frozen and Russia does not have any border over here. That is why it occupied the Crimea. It occupies Crimea over here in Ukraine, so that it gets a warm water port, and now it can move out of the Mediterranean Sea into the Atlantic Ocean. So this is the reason why Russia has captured this area of Ukraine. You see now, history or geography over here, knowledge of geography is very important to understand so many things. Current affairs, for example, this Crimean annexation, maybe after 100 years, 200 years, it becomes a part of history. And as it will become a part of history, people will ask, why did Russia have to annex Crimea? And the answer will lie in geography. So people who underestimate these subjects shouldn't do that. Well, I guess we'll be keeping it till this Oyashivo current, Kuroshivo current. And I'll hope that you all will enjoy your holidays, and please stay well, take care. Thank you.